Hi, I'm Chris Upham with the DC Metro Real Estate Journal. I'm extremely excited about this timely video topic that we have today. But first, I want to direct your attention to a couple of buttons we have on the right side of the screen. First is the What's Your Home Worth? If you go ahead and click this button, you're going to be able to set up a market snapshot for your neighborhood and your home so that you're going to always be informed about the latest market trends in your neighborhood. Second is the Search All Homes on the MLS. If you or someone you know has been thinking about buying a home in the next 3, 6, 12, even 18 months, now's the time to start taking a look at the listings, getting a sense as to what's out there, getting educated on the market. And our system is going to be getting you the most accurate and up-to-date listing information, even more accurate than Zillow and Trulia. Now, for our topic. The top 3 mistakes that sellers can make that causes their homes to fail to sell. Listen, historically in the United States, real estate market cycles have gone in 7-year cycles, measured peak to peak. So if the peak of our last market in the DC metro area was in about 2005, 2006, and it's 2015 right now, that puts us a good 9 to 10 years into this 7-year housing cycle. Folks, we're on borrowed time. This is something that we have been talking about for this entire last year, that there is going to be a shift that comes in the market. And that's why now, more than ever, it's important that you're paying attention to some of these critical fundamentals that we're going to cover today. Did you know that nationally, up to 58.4% of homes fail to sell? When we sit down with our potential home sellers, we'll go over a market absorption analysis with them, and we'll determine for their own neighborhood what the percentage of homes is that fail to sell. And you know, it's not unusual right here in the DC metro area where we'll see that 32% of homes that go on the market fail to sell. That means for every 3 homes that went on the market, 1 of them did not sell. Folks, it's important to make sure that you pay attention to the fundamentals to make sure that you are not one of those statistics. So here's the top 3 biggest mistakes we see that causes home sellers' homes to fail to sell. First is what we just simply call the condition. You've got to make sure that your home is absolutely tip-top, that it is on point, ready to show. Do you know that the average home buyer makes a decision in about the first 8 to 15 seconds when they're stepping out of the car, walking up to the front door? When they open the front door and step inside, they've probably already made a decision on whether they're going to pass on your house or if they're interested in knowing more. That's why it's critical that you have got the condition of your house absolutely photo ready and on point. And that's the purpose of the professional staging consultation in our certified home sale process here at the Upham Group. The second point is simply that you have exceptional pictures in the MLS. Did you know that 91% of home buyers start their searches online? That's why it's critical. And you've probably seen, if you looked at real estate listings online, there's a good portion of those listings that have terrible pictures. As a matter of fact, sometimes we joke about them. We'll send around pictures that are just terrible. That's why it's important that the pictures of the listing of your home are exceptional. We actually have professional photographers and photo shoots and video shoots for all of our listings where they use HDR technology where they're taking 5 exposures of each shot and overlaying them in post-production. And what that does is it causes there to be a real brilliance of the picture. It eliminates the bright spots and it fills in the shadows, so there's absolutely gorgeous pictures. You know, when that home buyer is sitting in their living room, or maybe they're taking a break from at work and they're looking at listings trying to find that next house, you need your house to jump out at them so that they call up their agent and say, we got to see this house. So the number 2 mistake that home sellers have when their homes fail to sell is they don't have exceptional photos. The number 3 and perhaps most important piece here is that you get your home priced correctly. Did you know that in the first 2 weeks a home is on the market, that it is absolutely critical that the importance of the initial market pricing. In those first 2 weeks, that is when the most traffic is going to come into the open house, is going to come into your house to tour it on home showings. After those first 2 weeks, the showing traffic is going to die off as people become familiar with and they feel like they've already seen your listing. That's why you've got to nail it right at the beginning. And matter of fact, this is what we tend to find is that if people have not nailed the price, I think a lot of times home sellers have the myth of, I'm going to price it a little higher so I leave in negotiating room. Well, what happens is the buyers, they come out and they see it, they just sense it's not a value, they move on and they go buy another house. Or they feel like, hey, listen, I'm not going to take just the first offer that comes along. I'm willing to wait for a good deal. You know what, folks? This week alone, I've talked with people who have spent $10,000 in mortgage payments on a vacant, empty house of theirs over the last few months when their home was on the market with another agent failing to sell because it was not priced right the first time. I'll tell you what, that if they had just priced it right the first time, then it would have sold quickly and they would have saved themselves $10,000 in mortgage payments on a vacant home. Folks, the market shift is coming. And that's why now, ever more than ever, it's important that you've got these fundamentals nailed down straight, that the condition is on point, that you're using exceptional photos, and that you're paying attention to the importance of the initial market pricing. I'm Chris Upham with the DC Metro Real Estate Journal. I'm excited to help you make sure that your home gets sold for the highest price in the shortest time and that you don't become a statistic of a failed home sale.